Kevin and Janie were so excited to move to see the views of the Black Hills. When the right home came available, they dropped everything and bought the property. Today I sat down with Kevin and talked to him about his home buying experience. Well, thank you for agreeing to be with me here today. So my first question always is, tell me your story. Why did you decide to, I'm going to leave where I'm at and I'm going to come to Podunk, Rapid City? What was involved in that decision?
So a lot of it was the pandemic in 2020. We came from a state that was had much more stricter guidelines and whatnot. So I had always liked South Dakota. I came out here as a kid in the early 70s, loved the area. And during the pandemic, I just needed to get out of the state where I was at. So I came looking to do the Buffalo Roundup, wanted to do the Volks March on Crazy Horse. Never done them, read about them, saw videos about them, really wanted to check them out. So decided to come out and see it and was blown away again by just the beauty of the Black Hills. So from that point, I was already planning on retiring within a couple of years. And we looked at several other places. We looked down in Tennessee, looked up in Wisconsin as possible locations, and just nothing just beats what South Dakota has to offer, especially the western South Dakota and the Black Hills.
That sounds great. So as far as our services, what did you find that was exemplary about what we did? What are the things that you could say, hey, that was really cool about our services and helping you move out here?
So in 2020, I came out for the initial visit and wanted to come back out in 2021 to see the area in the summer. It's a touristy area, so just wanted to see, is it really crazy busy? Is it something that we'd regret coming out here? So came out again to do the Volks March at Crazy Horse, and also just look around the area. In the meantime, was looking at other, just various housing in the area. But I reached out to several realtors, you being one of them. And you were the only one that really responded at that point, or at least immediately responded. I did eventually hear from a couple of others. But when I had come out, you were very open to, hey, let me know when you're coming out. We can, I'll understand what you're looking for, what you really want, and try and align you with, showing you those things. So came out, you spent probably 2.5 hours with me.
You drove around?
Yeah, we drove all over Rapid City, and it was great. What I found very helpful was, one, you knew the areas very well as far as just the different price ranges and whatnot. And, we went into some areas that were a little bit higher than what I was stating at the time was, our price range. Gave us an idea of what was the newer developments versus, older ones. Where you're outside of more of the city limits versus you're inside the city, and you just have to deal with, maybe your own propane, or you're not on city water or something like that. But it was very helpful to basically see the entire greater Rapid City area from your perspective, and where they were relative to where the grocery stores were, close to downtown. Those things that, maybe you don't think of when you're looking into an area.
Yeah, when you're visiting.
Exactly. I was in the position, obviously, I didn't need to necessarily worry about schools, but certainly you want to be into an area where it does have good schools. So if you're going to sell down the road, it's helpful to know what those schools are, because they become highly desirable for people who do have school-age children, to potentially buy down the road.
Awesome. Well, so we've been here for a few months now. What have you loved the most about Rapid City and the Black Hills?
Probably number one thing is just how friendly everybody is. And it's very cliche to say that, but we're still getting used to just that friendliness. Not that we came from some place that people were mean and whatnot, but people are very outwardly friendly and engaging, willing to talk about you, with you about where you came from, and same type of questions. Why did you come out to here? And very very welcoming. Not at all like, oh, where'd you come from? And they were worried. They were very embracing. Hey, welcome to the community. So that's probably the number one thing. The number two thing is just exploring the Black Hills. I mean, we've done probably 2 to 3 dozen hikes throughout the hills, taken in a bunch of the events. The Veterans Day Parade was just blew me away about how big that was. We went to the Holiday Lights Parade for just a Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
That was really awesome to see. But it's really kind of nice that Rapid City it's a city, but it's really still kind of has that small town feel to it, And then when you get into the hills, Hill City and Custer and the wildlife loop and Custer State Park, it's just an endless amount of things that you can do and explore, and go all the way up into Spearfish. And we're just having fun finding restaurants that we like, or bakeries and things of that nature, that things that we just wouldn't have had where we moved to. So it's been fun exploring and enjoying those things.
Yeah, yeah. And as we get closer here through Christmas and the wintertime, it's amazing how many, all the towns have like their old winter festivals or their old winter carnivals. There's a lot of things you can see and do even during the wintertime for us locals.
Yeah, so one I'm looking forward to is down in Custer. They have the beetle burn.
Yes.
So I'm ready to get my application in for my torch on that. Oh, yeah. Certainly Custer, or I'm sorry, Hill City, and between Hill City and Custer, they've got the Volksmarch of the Crazy Horse. I think even the Volksmarch Association was one I've been looking into. They not only do they host the big Volksmarch of the Crazy Horse, but they do events throughout the Black Hills. They just did one up in Spearfish. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make that. But it's just still community focused. The Oktoberfest up in Deadwood was another one that hit up just to see and enjoy, and they had the wiener dog races and whatnot. So just some very unique Black Hills, Western Midwest, type cultural events to participate in.
Right. And we'll have the Nemo Outhouse races coming up soon.
It's another one. Yep.
Really.
Yep.
With the beetle barn, it's like only in South Dakota can you expect these kind of weird things for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now that you've been living in the house too as well, you've been here for a while. What do you love about your house?
So the one main thing I was looking for in moving somewhere from where we were, we moved from very flat, arid. I wanted to be able to see more than 300 feet. And here, this house filled that need. It was something that came up obviously very quickly for us, but we wanted views, or at least we wanted to be somewhere where we were close to be able to see views. And not only the house, which was just really, it worked out really well for us, but the neighborhood and just the surrounding areas. You just drive anywhere down the street and you just have views. You get out on the main road coming up to the development and going past, and it's just, the up and down views of the rock formations, the trees, the pine smell. Those are really all the things that were high on my list, and that this house really, really met. So I was very excited about it. I'm still enjoying it, immensely. Getting even off the main roads, going onto the gravel roads, some of the National Forest Service roads and whatnot, that we're finding some of these shortcuts and whatnot to some restaurants. I think on 385, the Sugar Shack, phenomenal burgers.
Yeah.
But we don't take the normal road there. We'll take the gravel roads there out through either Nemo or off of Norris Peak Road and whatnot. And it's just how quickly you can get into the kind of the back country to be able to see just the beauty of the Black Hills. It's just stunning around every turn.
Very few people around.
Exactly. We comment all the time. In the last 2 months, we go down to Custer State Park, and there's just nobody there. I mean, it's a massive area, but you'll feel like you have these parks and these trails to yourself. And I know it's busier in the summers, and it will be, but the fall has just been phenomenal. Spearfish Canyon just blows you away with just the colors and just the formations. But there's just so much more space. You don't feel crowded at all. And when you do encounter people, they're just always generally super, super, super friendly, super, super nice. So, the restaurant we just tried downtown, the Mud Hole. Yep.
We're
making the tour of biscuits and gravy places that my wife was, wanted to try. Super friendly, small business folks,
a little hole in the wall place. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was just, you feel very welcome. The food was outstanding. So we've been having fun, just enjoying seeing, those things, whether they're in the city or they're in the Black Hills. So we're looking forward this part of the year to going around and looking at the Christmas lights. So There's some pretty impressive displays out here. There's some people just go over the top. So we're excited to check all those out as well.
So is there anything else that you may want to mention that we didn't talk about?
So I think one thing to mention is our opportunity came up. We were constantly looking at just different houses that were coming up through different mediums, Facebook and just other listings and whatnot. When our listing came up, this house happened to be in the neighborhood that we wanted, in the area of the neighborhood that we really liked.
Check. Yeah.
It checked a lot of those boxes. And while I like to think that I have any type of, I'm in charge of anything, it was really more of my wife's decision as far as, whether she liked it or not. But she liked it enough that we reached out to you. And I think, as I've seen on some of your other videos, you get busy when you decide, hey, I'm going to maybe leave town to go to a convention or a trade show or something like that. So we were able to catch you at an airport. And I believe within 2 hours, you had one of your associates up here doing a FaceTime walkthrough with us, which was fabulous. We felt she gave us very honest opinions of the property. It's a beautiful property, so she was very impressed with it and whatnot. But we got to see everything that we needed to be able to see. Once we decided very quickly that, hey, we wanted to put an offer in, your team, you're tied up, but you're coordinating with your team to get all that stuff done. So everything happened very quickly, how we needed it to. And then when we got to the closing and even through the inspection, you were very helpful in keeping us up to date, who's doing what, when, where. Certainly very open to, hey, listen, if you come out during the inspection, don't bother the inspector type stuff. But the inspector that came out was fabulous. I felt extremely comfortable with the work that he did. And then for the closing, I think part of this is maybe just how South Dakota runs as opposed to other states. Right. But very simple, very straightforward, no hiccups. Everything was all aligned. We didn't have to worry about anything.
Yep.
We were just really, this is it. We're done. And it was very simple. So, it just was a very seamless process. It was a very quick process for us in our situation. But we appreciate that everything went as smoothly as it went. I think the only hiccup that we did run into, and the funny thing was you did a follow-up video about we had the seller had left the piano in there. That all got taken care of. Fortunately, the seller's realtor was very cooperative through this process as well. So we got it all taken care of. But, you were very reassuring of, listen, don't worry about it. If they don't take care of it, I'll make sure it gets taken care of. So it wasn't the biggest obstacle in the world, but it was certainly your comic relief on your video that you posted was fun about that, and with paint and leftover type stuff and boxes. We had a few boxes
bodies in the whole area
that we found. There was, they were 30, 40-year-old boxes of, like
bang to box,
right.
VCRs. That was awesome.
Exactly. But the whole process just went very smoothly. So it made us very comfortable that we were, picking up and moving 900 miles away in a process that happened very quickly, with really no hiccup at all, no issue at all, no concern, no worry, no anxiety. It was how you'd expect it to be, and probably went faster than we would have expected it to go. So we were very happy with it, and we got settled in very quickly. And the best thing is it's allowed us so much more time to enjoy the Black Hills, and the surrounding areas.
Well, thank you so much for your comments and letting us know how it went for you. Glad it all went as good as it did for you. It doesn't always work that way, but I'm so happy that you got in here and you're enjoying the art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Wonderful.
If you like this video, make sure you watch this playlist right here with other testimonials from clients just like Kevin. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day. And remember, love where you live.